Hello, I'm LuNEJuNE, and in today's video, I'll be showing you the top 5 best SOLARLUNAR decks that I think it's very reliable to play. This is all based off of my opinions however, so don't start a war in the comments. Also, I will be trying to compare every single SOLARLUNAR deck that I've seen before or heard of. The listing will be based off of my experiences with the deck, so this isn't something official, it's just something in my opinion. Let's jump into the list. At my number 5 spot, we have SOLARLUNAR Blizz. Blizzard is a good dice and can help other decks survive for much longer than they were supposed to. However, when it comes to playing it with SOLARLUNAR, it might not be the best support dice for the deck. Sure, it can slow down the mobs and everything, but bosses are a thing and you can easily die at the start of the game. I did make a video on this deck however, so if you want to check that out, the video will be on screen right now. Basically it's good, but in terms of stalling and surviving, there are plenty of better decks than this one. Sacrifice variant comes in next, and the main reason is the current meta supports this deck very well. You first have Sacrifice to pretty much counter Assassins and Royals, and SOLARLUNAR to survive a late game. Even though Sacrifice is a support dice, that thing can hit like a truck. However, when it comes to counters, we have SOLARLUNAR Blizzard who can outlive this deck, and other SOLARLUNAR variants, and possibly Yin Yang that can beat this deck as well. If your specs are high enough though, you can go to round 12 and higher, but with Sacrifice, it's harder to reach rounds like that than some other SOLARLUNAR decks, but definitely one of the best for reliability. I know what you guys are gonna say, but hear me out. This deck works. I have used this several times on stream, and I am thinking of making a beginner's guide to SOLARLUNAR video with this deck. The main reason why this deck is better in pretty much every way than Sacrifice is that it has Nuke. Sure, Sacrifice gives SP and helps you survive earlier rounds, but Nuke can give SP plus help you survive better than Sacrifice in the early game and potentially can kill bosses quicker. There is pretty much nothing that can go wrong with this deck. Even when you are building up your board, you have almost zero to no pressure since you have Nuke when things get heavy. Just merge that bad boy and boom, your lane clear is done. However, again, when it comes to outliving certain decks like Yin Yang and SOLARLUNAR, it's kinda hard since Nuke. Yeah, Nuke. Moving on. I know what you guys are gonna say, part 2, but hear me out. With the help from Royal, you can finish your games faster. In a meta where we face Yin Yang and other SOLARLUNAR decks, Royal can easily counter both. For Yin Yang opponents, well, you know, Royal and Yin Yang. And for SOLARLUNAR opponents, you can force them to build up their board when they don't want to by merging Royal. It's like, if I'm changing my board, you shall too. But there is one problem. Early game is tough, and I mean tough when it comes to playing this deck. I highly recommend this deck for very experienced players, but I did manage to get an 11 win streak with this even though I am nowhere near experienced levels with SOLARLUNAR. A fast paced SOLARLUNAR deck, and it works great against its foes. Not good at handling faster paced decks though. And we have a winner here. SOLARLUNAR Shield is probably the best SOLARLUNAR deck you can play currently. With Shield you can outlive pretty much all decks, and if you happen to have Frost Crystal Rift Battlefield skin, you can also survive longer. In early game, Shield is there to pretty much protect you from mobs and can stall long enough before you can get your Solars up and running. There is one counter to this deck, and that is Flameflow Royal. As long as you don't meet Flameflow Royal and have bad RNG, you should win almost 100% of your games. Again, it's not very beginner friendly with new players, but it's a very reliable deck to use for other more experienced players. Thank you for watching, and it has been a long time since I did a manual outro. Anyway, if you have other SOLARLUNAR decks that you want me to try out, leave it in the comment section down below. Also, if you have more tips on SOLARLUNAR itself, also leave that in the comments below so that we all can learn.